Hello students, today we're going to look at linear equation, and the first example is we have two equations where we see a negative 4x plus 9y equal 2 and 5x minus 9y equal negative 7. So we're going to go ahead and solve this equation. So first we're going to group all the x values. So we have a negative 4 and a positive 5x, and this is 4x, right? So a negative and a positive, negative 4 and a positive 5x, that will equal to 1x, or you can call it x, right? And here we have a positive and a negative 9y, positive 9y and a negative 9y. So both y's would cancel each other. So now we only left with the sums, that is positive 2 and a negative 7, right? Negative 7. So we're going to write back the 1x and a positive 2 and a negative 7. That will leave us with a negative 5. And now we're going to divide, because this is the operation of multiplication. We're going to do the opposite of multiply. So we're going to divide 1 in both at both sides. So x will equal to negative 5, right? And now we're going to try to solve for y. Now we know that x is negative 5. So now we're going to try to solve for y. So remember, x is equal to negative 5. So for solving for y, we can use either of the equation. I'm going to use the bottom equation, which is 5x negative 9y equal negative 7. So here we're going to substitute where the x is. We know that the x is negative 5. So we're going to, wherever we see x, we're going to put a negative 5. So here will be a negative 5. We're going to bracket it. So now we know that this should be multiplied, the number outside should be multiplied to the number that's inside the bracket. And we're going to write back our negative 9. This is 9y. Yes, this should be 9y equal negative 7. Right, let's see the negative 7. Let me erase it. Right, so this should be a negative 7. So the next step, we know that 5 is 25, so that would leave us with a negative 25, right? And write back the negative 9y equal negative 7. So now we're going to write since we're going to try to find what's the y value, we're going to write back the negative 9y. We're going to make try to make the y the subject of the formula, right? And now we have a negative 25, and we're going to try to bring that negative 25 over to the next side, right? And we already have a negative 7 And that whenever you're going to move the negative 25 over to the right hand side, that negative will change to a positive. So whenever you're moving it, the sign changes. So this will be a positive 25. So here we're going, because this operation is dividing, multiplying, we're going to do the opposite, which is dividing. And we're going to divide by -9, right? And here, a -7 plus 25, that will leave us with a positive 18, right? So 18. So we're going to, as we say, we're going to divide both sides by a -9. So -9 cancel itself, and -9 cancel itself, -9 cancel itself, and that -9 into 18, that will leave us with 2, but this will be a -2, because whenever dividing or multiplying with a negative and a positive, it always will be a negative, right? So the y is equal to a -2, right? So here we have two equations where 5x plus 2y equals 7 and 3x minus 2y equals 1. So we're going to try to figure out what is x and what is y, but first we're going to solve for x. And as you can see, 5x, by grouping the x, we have 2x, we have 5x, and we have 3x. And 5 and 3 is 8. And we're going to write back the x. And a positive 2y and a negative 2y cancel itself. So next step is adding the sum of both equations. And the sum is 7 and 1. And that will give us 8. So now this operation is multiplying. We're going to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. And we're going to divide both sides by 8. And you can already see 8 cancel itself on both sides. So x is equal to 1, right? And now we're going to try to solve for y, because we already figure out that x is 1. So now we're going to solve for y by substituting where the x is, we're going to put 1, because we figure out that x is equal to 1. So now we're going to solve for y, and we're going to use we can use any of the equation to solve for y, but I'm going to use the bottom equation, which is 3x negative y equal 1. And we're going to write back the 3. And now we know that x is equal to 1. And we're going to write back the negative 2y equal 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. Write back the negative 2y equal 1. Now we're going to try to make y the subject. So we're going to write negative 2y, write back the equal sign and the 1. And now remember we have 3 on the left hand side. So whenever we're going to move that 3 to the right hand side, and the 3 is a positive 3, so it's going to change from positive to a negative 3, right? So here 3 from 1, so this is a positive 1 and this is a negative 3. So the answer will be negative, and this will equal to a negative 2, right? So here is a negative 2. So write back the negative 2y equal negative 2. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 2, right? And cancel both sides, and y is equal to 1. Yes. Okay guys, so now is example 3, and we have 2x negative 7y equal to negative 4, and 2x plus 2y equal to negative 4. So we notice that the y values are different. In cases like this, we're going to multiply both equation, but we're going to use the 2y going to multiply the 2 and the 2y going to multiply the top equation, and the negative 7, let me not say that, the 7, yes, negative 7. So you're going to multiply both sides, right? And 2, we're going to multiply 2 with every digit in that equation. So 2 times 2 will give us 4x, right? And 2 times the negative 4y will give us negative 14y, yeah, equal 2 times a negative 4 will give us a negative 8, right? And the bottom equation, we're timesing it by negative 7. So negative 7 times 2x. So that's a negative 14x, right? Negative 14x, and negative 7 times 2y will give us a negative 14y, and 7, a negative 7 and a negative 4, right? 2 negative will give us a positive, right? And we're going to times the 4 and the 7, which is 28. So we're going to have a positive 28 here, right? So now we're going to solve for x, and here we can see that this is a positive 4x and a negative 14, right? So that will leave us with 10, but that will leave us with a negative 10x, and here we're going, the sum of both equations, we're going to add them up. That's a negative 8 plus 28, right? So you owe 8, you pay 28, so you have 20 remain. Right, 20, a positive 20. You're going to write back a negative 10x, right? And now you're going to change, this is a multiply, this is saying that you're multiplying here, so now we're going to do the opposite of multiplying, but we're going to divide by negative 10 on both sides. So negative cancel itself, negative 10 cancel itself, negative 10 cancel itself. So here we'll leave with x, negative 10 cancel itself, and 10 into 20 goes 2 times, right? but this will give us a negative 2. So x is equal to negative 2.